Tonight on twitch.tv/waverunner. 3 N's. That's right. Waverunner with 3 N's. I will be going over the complete 100% factual history of the waffle. Many of you, I don't think, know the actual truth behind the waffle because they don't teach you about it. They don't teach you in school. They did not teach you this in school. I'm here to teach you today, free of charge. Free of charge. Of course, if you do feel so inclined to subscribe, by all means, feel free. But you do not have to learn the complete history, start to finish, of the waffle. Is it time? Is it time to get up already? Indeed it is. Indeed it is. But don't worry. Don't worry. When your feet hit the ground, it's that lovely aroma coming from the kitchen. What is that? What is that? What is that? You're expecting some kind of delicious eggs, maybe some breakfast meats. You know, the assorted variety of breakfast meats. No. Throwing those all the way. Those are trash, garbage. Get them out of here. We don't want them. We don't want them. Kick them out. We don't want them. Get them out of here. It's not pancakes. It's waffles. It's waffles. It's waffles. That's hitting your nostrils, waking you up in the morning, getting you ready for that day, right? More importantly, I wanted to bring this information to you all. I'm banning the term pancakes from chat. I'm bringing this today because I believe there is some false narrative going around that waffles were Belgium or of Belgium origin. Today we're learning. I'm teaching that it's not. Waffles, not Belgium. No, forget that. Take that knowledge, throw it out. No, they lied to you. They lied to you in school. They lied to you at Denny's. They lied to you at IHOP. Gone. Get that knowledge out of your brain. Forget about it right now. Forget about it. I want you all to just go, what? I don't remember anything. Exactly. Belgium doesn't even exist. True. No. I know. It's wild. It's crazy. I'm here to give you the facts, though. I'm here to give you the facts. Straight up, give you the facts. Straight up, facts. To start off where waffles came from, we must go way back to the ancient Egyptians. Got that right. The ancient Egyptians. A gentleman named Waffles, you heard that, Waffles, was the first to mix flour and water together, baked between two rocks that had baking in the desert sun all day, forming what we know. Kind of. This is origin. So we don't. This is very not quite waffle-esque yet. All right. To dive a little bit deeper, it was later confirmed that during the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza in 2560 BCE is when a small stone had chipped away from construction, had fallen on another one, while the mixture was on the mixture was on top of the rock, then a stone had fallen on that rock, causing them to cook, creating the first waffle. Due to the coarseness of the rock, created craters in the mixture, causing little cups to form. Not perfect cups, mind you, not perfect cups, but small cups cooked into the flour and water mixture. A characteristic that was lost until a later time. We'll touch on that in a minute. That characteristic of the cup was lost until a later time. We'll get to that though. And then, so as we can confirm, later confirmed in the art found in one of the ancient tombs, once brushed off, revealed. Hello, hi, camera. Maybe it's the waffles are too strong for the camera. But as you can see, it was brushed off, later to reveal passing down of the waffle. Again, they don't teach you about this in school. I know. Trust me, I know. But you see, it's weird, right? It's square, and the waffles that we know today, circular. I know. We'll get to that. We will be getting to that shortly. I promise you. Okay. Well, we're getting a little too ahead of ourselves there. We now need to take our time travel a little bit. We need to jump a little bit into the future. Back to ancient Greece. Greeks eventually made the flatbreads out of water and flour. They made the same mixture, but they used 2 hot plates. This time they got a little bit more engineering. They increased their engineering skills a little bit. 2 hot plates, still creating what we know today. But this was more specifically made by a man named Legolas Egolopoulos. Again, name lost in time. Legolas Egolopoulos. These flatbreads would eventually be known as what we call today waffles. But unlike the waffles we all know and love today, these lacked a defined shape. They were more of a obtuse blob form due to the lack of precision tools used to make the waffle. A common misconception is we all know this statue, right? Man throwing disc. We know it. We've all seen it. We've enjoyed it. Common misconception of what he's actually throwing. Now, if we take a closer look, he's actually throwing a waffle. A little bit of we're getting more of that circular shape now. You get what I'm saying? It also lost to time. Very popular game of throwing a waffle. That was actually a game that they played back in ancient Greece. Hence why the statue, again, the one that we've all seen, we zoom in, we take a closer look, we deep dive into that, we could see actually a waffle. Never realized it? It's okay. Again, I know they don't teach you this in school. I'm aware. All right. After the Greeks had started to share their version of the waffle to traders as they passed through, they made it all the way to Israel, but more specifically, Jerusalem. Okay? The waffle had made its way through trading all the way, the recipe, that is, to Jerusalem. Okay? You got that right? That's right. Our boy Jesus played a large part of the history of waffle. Or should I say, a large step in the evolution of the waffle. Okay? You guys see what I did there? A large step in the evolution of the waffle. Because as stated, this is 100% real. This is the kind of stuff they do not teach you in school. As stated, this was written down and lost in time. But deep diving, I did a lot of research. Trust me, I spent a lot of time on this. One day, a man accidentally dropped his plate of freshly made waffles. Dropped them on the ground. A young Jesus Christ was walking too fast, stepped on the fresh waffles, leaving a waffle design leaving a waffle print on the freshly made waffles. In a common design that we all know today. And yes, like I said, young Jesus, he couldn't tie his sandals yet, so he needed Velcro. But these are what the sandals of their time looked like, giving us the cup impression that we have today. During that time, they also decided to imprint their own designs in these flatbreads like livestock and local celebrities. Ironically, Jesus became a very popular waffle design in Israel at that time. A couple years later. I think we all know why. So, we're getting there, right? We're getting that basic knowledge down, right? But don't worry, it doesn't stop there. King Arthur. King Arthur found out about these waffles. Again, we're jumping forward in time. But King Arthur had found out about these waffles, this flatbread. And he said, I need those flatbreads ASAP. True quote. It's actually quoted King Arthur. You can look it up. Thanks to King Arthur, waffles are now the shape that we all know and love today. The events have been recorded as such. So today, I will be taking through the events that have led to the circular form of the waffle. One long day of the king doing king shit, he decided he wanted to try the waffles he's been hearing so much about, right? He's been hearing all about these waffles. He's like, give me these waffles. But he decided to have his cook that was already on thin ice make the waffles because he knew it was such a challenging recipe to make and perfect. And he said, you know what? I'm gonna give it on that. I'm gonna task this to the chef that I don't like. He didn't like this chef. Chef was on thin ice. He didn't like the chef, so he said, he'll mess it up. I'll have to kill him. But it's a perfect excuse. That way, I don't look like the bad guy. He's the bad guy. He made my waffles bad. Okay? All right. So, knowing that he would fail making the waffles, he got ready. He took off his crown, right? He was taking off his crown because he didn't like wearing the crown when he was punishing people or eating, right? So he was taking off his crown and about to put it down on the table when the server had walked over, dropped the plate of waffles in front of King Arthur. At that time, King Arthur didn't realize what he had just done. Put his crown right down on the stack of waffles, which were square at that time. Cutting all of the waffles in a circular pattern. All of them. Now, he didn't know what he just did. He thought he just, boop, and then he's like, oh, and he moved it, put it on the table. But he was so amazed by the shape. He was so amazed by the shape and how just everything just fit together and cutting it. He could easily stab them on his sword and eat them multiples at a time. Now, he was overwhelmed, right? King Arthur was so overwhelmed with how innovative and amazing the process that chef went through to get such a perfect food, really. A perfect food. He saw it as the perfect food. He's correct. It is the perfect food. But he saw it, he knew it. He knew it was the perfect food. So he decided to make this cook his permanent chef. Spared his life, got rid of all they had no beef after that moment. He's like, you know what, you're amazing. I was wrong about you. You're an amazing guy. I appreciate you. I need you on board. I need you on board. Turns out that man would later be identified as Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay himself was King Arthur's chef. Now let me explain. There's a little bit of explaining. Turns out Gordon Ramsay was the only one allowed to use the time machine that was invented in 2034 and took that opportunity to perfect breakfast, to revive the breakfast industry that was failing in the medieval times. Gordon Ramsay was like, no. That's not right. I need to revive the breakfast industry now. He also was the reason why brunch was invented in 1832, but we're not going to get in that today. We're not going to get into that today. Okay? All right. Now we're going to take a step forward. We are going to move forward all the way to the Pilgrims. Pilgrims brought over the waffle with them on their voyage to America. They said, hey, we need the perfect food to get us all the way across to America. We need to survive that. They thought waffles. And boy, did they think correctly. Remember Paul Revere's Midnight Ride? Does everyone remember Paul Revere's Midnight Ride? That was also sponsored by Waffles. Little known fact. Paul Revere's Midnight Ride was sponsored by Waffles. The brand Eggo, more specifically. Eggo was the sponsor of the Midnight Ride. They would be later interviewed and would admit they were trying to get their name out there and would sponsor anybody with a horse. So that led to this moment. Now, we can go through the history of the waffle, right? But we need a little backstory about the history of syrup as well. Syrup, as we all know, you enjoy it. You gotta have it, right? Gotta have it. Comes from trees, all that kind of stuff. You got it. You guys know all that stuff. I don't need to teach you that information. But what I can give you, the syrup being the PB to the waffles J, you gotta have one. You can't have one. You gotta have both of them. You can't have just one. You gotta have both of them together. It's the PB to the waffles J, right? We all know that. But did you know? The Boston Tea Party was inaccurately named. Historians now know that the Boston Tea Party was inaccurately named. That was actually what was dumped in the harbor was actually maple syrup brought down from Canada in an attempt to slow down incoming ships from Britain, thus leading to the Revolutionary War and our freedom. As you can see, this is a more accurate representation of what had happened that day. They had dumped the syrup into the water to slow down the ships so they could not come over here in a hurry. Now they were stopped and stalled in the water. This is what happened. I'm just reporting the facts. It really brought us to our freedom. That brought us to our freedom. And somewhere over there, I assume, or over there, I don't know which way, you'll see Darcy. But again, it's either there or there. I don't know New York, so do with that as you will. Say hi to Darcy while we're overhead. Oh. There we go. Which brings us to today, the history of waffles today. Did you know the waffle shortage is happening right now? Right now, there's a waffle shortage. And you may be thinking, oh, there's plenty of shortages of everything, right? Everything going on in the world, there's a lot of shortages everywhere. It's fair. That's fair. You would be correct. But did you know there's also a waffle shortage? But this is due to the fact that the breakfast cooks of the world and the portioned meals shipped to home services are in a war right now. They're in a war with each other. Because with more people ordering foods, they seem to be ordering less breakfast foods. And they're just not that don't sit well with either side. We have the companies like HelloFresh and whatever the other ones are, and you have the breakfast cooks. They just don't get along. This caused a divide between two brothers, Legis and Edgar, descendants of the founders, Eggo Waffle, causing a slowdown in the offices, in the warehouses of the production of waffles because they divided their workers. It's insane. So we need to band together to get both sides going so we can make more waffles. So more people can enjoy the correct history of waffles and enjoy waffles every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And with that, I give you the complete and true factual history of waffles. Thank you.
It's a man with 3 ends. He planned the weekend that we spend to treat him with biddies and subs. I pay 69 every time he gets a dub.